coming up on the November 25th edition of Sports Xtra. Upset. It's how UNC fans felt after Belmont, and it's the only way to describe Sunday's win against Louisville.
And when you win by 60 points, does another touchdown really even matter? We take you inside the football team's incredible victory in one of the game's most controversial calls.
This feels like deja vu. The field hockey team went to another Final Four and left with another heartbreak. We look at the dramatic ending. All that and more. Sports Xtra starts right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Xtra.
It's beginning to look a lot like basketball season. With a huge win under its belt, the men's basketball team seems to be back in the swing of things. Welcome to Sports Xtra. I'm Delia D'Ambra.
And I'm Paige Comparato. It was a big weekend for UNC basketball, and we don't just mean the current team. One man in the news, the legendary Dean Smith. Luis Fernandez joins us live from the Dean Dome with more.
Thanks, Paige. Dean Smith is a legend to UNC students, alums, and fans everywhere. He was honored at the White House with a group of 16 people with the nation's highest civilian honor. I was lucky enough to attend the ceremony and got to witness it for the University of North Carolina.
The Presidential Medal of Freedom. Smith was among a highly decorated group that earned the honor this year, including President Bill Clinton, Oprah Winfrey, and Chicago Cubs legend Ernie Banks.
Coach Dean Smith joins the ranks of other college coaches like John Wooden, Pat Summitt, and Bear Bryant, who have won the Presidential Medal of Freedom from the guy who lives right over there.
While Smith's accomplishments on the court are some of the best of all time, President Barack Obama said it was his off-the-court accomplishments that define him.
We also honor his courage in helping to change our country. He recruited the first black scholarship athlete to North Carolina and helped integrate a restaurant and a neighborhood in Chapel Hill.
Current UNC head coach Roy Williams, who was at the ceremony on Wednesday, agrees.
Coach Smith was, you've heard me say this before, he's the best there ever was, in my opinion, on the basketball court, and he was far better off the court.
The 82-year-old Smith couldn't be at the ceremony because of a progressive neurocognitive disorder that affects his memory. Smith's wife of 37 years, Dr. Linnea Smith, was there to accept the award on his behalf. Smith's absence took an emotional toll on those close to him, including Williams.
I was really struggling when I sat down as to how I was going to handle it, because I was so thrilled for the event, but was so sad that Coach couldn't be there to enjoy it and understand everything that was going on, because I think deep down he would have really been proud of this.
Even with his health failing, this medal symbolizes all the hard work Coach Dean Smith has put in throughout his life. His legend lives on.
And the name Dean Smith has been in the news lately, but for other reasons. The Dean E. Smith Center could be undergoing some major changes in the future. UNC leaders said that there could be they're in the early stages of exploring their options for the basketball facility, which could include major renovations or even a change in location. Carly Swanson shows us what's caused the university to consider their options.
The Dean Smith Center is a building known by many, named after the legendary former coach and filled with proud moments on the court. And it's not rare to find a proud Carolina fan like Sam Lewis snapping a picture in front of the Dean Smith Center.
See all the national championship banners hanging up in the rafters and the retired jerseys, and it's just, you just feel that like tradition.
Athletic Director Bubba Cunningham says it's time to consider renovating or relocating the 30-year-old basketball arena.
You know, we have a single concourse and it accommodates 20,000 people. So the entryways, the concessions, the restrooms, the ADA requirements, all of those things have really changed dramatically in the last 20 years. So we have to take a look at how we can stay relevant in college basketball.
UNC used $70 million to keep up in football through a privately funded project to upgrade Keenan Memorial Football Stadium. The university has 30 years to pay it off.
That's some of the thought behind some renovations to the Smith Center. Are there ways to create more revenue through the basketball program and provide amenities to fans that want them?
Lewis is also a member of UNC's swimming and diving team and recognizes fellow student athletes and recruits want top-notch training facilities inside arenas.
It's important to have, the best equipment that you can so that we can all train our best.
And even Duke fans believe an upgrade would help UNC remain competitive.
Coming from the school down the street, pretty much the better school in all aspects, I definitely think they should upgrade their facilities just to up their game and get on our level.
However, some Tar Heels are expressing concern about the talk of relocation.
I think it would be okay as long as it was still on the school's campus.
And while it's too early to know future plans, athletic leaders say fans shouldn't worry, as the history of Carolina basketball will always be part of the arena. I'm Carly Swanson reporting.
Officials say they plan on finding out more ways to generate revenue through the basketball program and use that money to give fans the changes they'd like to see.
Luis Fernandez reporting live from the Dean Dome. Thanks, Luis.
It was the tweet heard around the world, well, at least around the Twitter world. Dick Vitale, or Dickie V, tweeted out this message. Spoke to UNC's Roy Williams, and he said current roster minus McDonald and Harrison is least talented of his UNC teams. More options with both. But is it? We compared this year's squad with the famous crew from 2009-2010. This year, the guys are making 45.9% of their field goals. In the 09-10 season, that percentage was 44.1%. Beyond the arc, UNC shooting 39.6%. In the 2009-2010 season, that number was 32.9%. How about free throws? UNC's downfall last Sunday. This year, UNC is making 62.1% compared to the previous team's 65.3%. So maybe this team does lack talent, but only from the charity stripe.
Well, the team seemed to take Coach Williams' sentiment to heart as the Heels knocked off the defending NCAA champions on Sunday in the Hall of Fame tip-off championship game. UNC defeated third-ranked Louisville Cardinals in a high-octane shootout behind a career-high performance from who else but Marcus Paige. Paige scorched the Cardinals for 32 points on 9 of 12 shooting and a perfect 11-11 from the charity stripe. Russ Smith's 36 points kept Louisville in the game, but a stellar performance from freshman Kennedy Meeks kept the Heels on top. Meeks had 12 rebounds and 7 assists to go along with his 13 points. The loss for Louisville ended the Cardinals' 21-game winning streak dating back to last year.
And it's official, Eric Ebron will be joining the NFL Draft. Ebron declaring for the NFL Draft is no shock after such an impressive season, which includes 50 catches and 774 yards and 3 touchdowns. Oh, and he still most likely has 2 games left with us. During his 3 years with the Tar Heels, Ebron has 100 catches, 1,606 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns. According to ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr., the Greensboro native's combination of size, speed, and receiving ability make him the 12th overall draft prospect. Carolina football needed one more win to get to a bowl game, and the guys did it in a blowout. Things started off tight in Keenan with UNC leading Old Dominion 14-3 after the first quarter, but then things kind of got out of control. The Heels put up a record 80 points, and freshman running back TJ Logan had 137 yards and 3 touchdowns. Star freshman wide receiver Ryan Switzer had more than 100 yards receiving with 2 touchdowns and another punt return TD. QB Marquise Williams also had a record-setting day with 469 yards total offense and 5 passing touchdowns. After the game, Williams said the players wanted to put up even more points.
We tried to beat the basketball score. We seen they score 82. We wanted coach to let us kick a field goal if we can get 83, but that didn't happen. But it felt good. We was clicking on special teams and everything. So I mean, I wish we'd have got 83 so we could have bragged with the basketball boys. But it was great.
Wow, that was a lot of points, which brings us to our next point, and that's our week's hidden stat. It was a record for points scored in UNC football game, breaking the previous record of 66 set by Coach Fedora's team last year. While it wasn't fun for Old Dominion, it was pretty bad for the cheerleaders. The guys did a lot of this. 534 push-ups to be exact. Not too bad, I would say.
A lot, but it could have been even more if this controversial call had gone the other way. With about 10 minutes left in the third quarter, Marquise Williams threw this pass to receiver Mark McNeil. Along the sidelines, the officials originally ruled it incomplete. They reviewed it with the ruling on the field standing. This TD pass would have set a new school record with 6 in one game. We see here that the ref said McNeil landed out of bounds. However, he clearly got 1 foot down and knee down. The question, however, is if he maintained maintain possession throughout the catch. What do you think? Tweet us at SportsExtra, at @SportsExtra_UNC, #AlmostTD.
The Heels don't have much time to celebrate Saturday's dominant victory as Duke comes to Kenan Stadium for the regular season finale. Ryan O'Rourke has more about Saturday's historic rivalry matchup.
It's called the Victory Bell, and for the first time since 2003, the traveling trophy awarded to the winner of the annual UNC vs. Duke football game is in possession of the Blue Devils. Cornerback Jabari Price says the thought of losing to Duke on a last-second touchdown last year is still uncomfortably fresh.
You know, reliving that night all over again, that last play, it hurts, and I don't want that same feeling again.
History has favored UNC in the football side of this rivalry, as the Heels have won 21 of the past 23 meetings and are 55, 36, and 4 in the overall series.
We're on a winning streak, and I'm glad momentum's on our side. But Duke is also on a winning streak. You know, they're scary good. If you would have told me this at the beginning of the season that Duke was going to be, 8-2, 9-2, I would have shrugged you off.
The 24th-ranked Blue Devils sit atop the Coastal Division with a trip to the ACC Championship at stake. Winners of their past 7 consecutive games, a victory Saturday would give them their first double-digit win season in program history. If knocking the nationally ranked Dukies out of an ACC championship wasn't already enough motivation, Coach Larry Fedora made sure to add some fuel to the fire.
Like, as soon as we won and we got in the locker room, they put up film of Duke beating us. So they want us to think about it already. So, I mean, I know it's a big game, and I feel like we're going to come out hard.
With so many postseason implications on the line, Saturday's matchup is bound to be another riveting chapter in the historic Tobacco Road rivalry. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ryan O'Rourke.
The Tar Heels can improve to 7-5 on the season with a win Saturday. Kickoff is at 12:30 at Kenan Stadium.
And you ever wanted to know what it takes to be a Moorhead Scholar? How about a UNC athlete? Ben Walsh takes a look at a player who is both.
Growing up in Montreal, Canada, as you'd expect, Alan Champagne's first sport was hockey.
Back in the days, I was kind of like the fat kid when I was younger. And one time, my best friend told me to start playing hockey, so I started playing hockey.
This involvement in hockey, combined with the influence from his family, led Champagne to a love for football.
And I was like a bigger guy, so I tried it, and then my coach really liked me, and I just kept, I just fell in love with the sport. And from there, it just took a lot of extra work, and in football, if you work a lot harder than anybody else, then there's a lot that you can do. So.
This mentality of working hard is something that Champagne applies both to football and his academic studies.
That's how I live my life. Everything I commit myself to, I just put everything I have into it. I'll give my 110%. If it's on the field, in the weight room, in the classroom, or just studying. That's how I live my life, and I think that's why I am where I am right now.
Champagne told me that his journey here to UNC has been a tough but rewarding one that started with a talk from his mum.
My mom, kind of like before that, she kind of like sat me down and she was like crying, and she was like, I can't send you to college and stuff because of the money. And I was like, that kind of was a big motivational moment in my life.
From that point on, Champagne was determined both to go to college and to play football.
Like, I'm going to college, and tell me what I have to do, and I will do it. And she was like, get good grades, do well in football, do service, do this and that. And I had a whole list of stuff, and I was like, all right, I'll see you in 2 years.
And 2 years later, sure enough, Champagne got the Moorhead Kane Scholarship, the oldest, most prestigious scholarship program at UNC. After college, Champagne intends to continue his hard work serving as an orthopedic surgeon in the Army. Who can doubt he'll succeed? Reporting from Chapel Hill, I'm Ben Walsh.
There's nothing better than catching up with old friends while eating a hot dog at halftime.
Well, at least that's what Carolina football lettermen think. I looked beyond the metal gates into a room built upon tradition. On the South Concourse of Kenan Stadium, there's a halftime home for Carolina football lettermen. This is the Charlie Choo Choo Justice Lounge, created in honor of the great number 22. The walls of the lounge document Carolina football history, covered in team photos dated all the way back to the 1800s, plaques with the names of every coach, every bull name listed on the windows, and even pictures of fans back in the day. Lettermen and their families scour the team photos looking for familiar faces. Mel Lewis earned his letter as a trainer in the late 60s, and now he's the official host of the lounge.
There are an awful lot of man hugs in here. As guys see each other, that maybe they saw them the last week, but maybe they haven't seen a teammate for 30 years. And they happen to be at this game, and they know they can come here and have a chance to see their old teammates.
Don McCauley is one of the former pro players you might catch in the lounge. He was UNC's star running back from 1968 to 70.
I went off into the NFL with the Baltimore Colts for 11 years, and with the intent of always coming back someday and kind of giving my best for the school that did so much for me.
The Letterman's Lounge wasn't always located here, and Lewis and McCauley have worked hard to find just the right place. The first lounge came into being in 1988, and McCauley said former UNC coach Mac Brown was a big proponent of finding a place to link players from different eras together. So what do they talk about other than catching up?
Now they're still competitive, and they'll say, well, in my day, we could have beat them, or we were better or faster and stuff.
Overall, the lounge is for recognition of everything Carolina football Lettermen have accomplished.
The secret is to make from any era, whether you were a cheerleader or, the first-string All-American, that we're all part of, the football program here. And you're welcome to come by at halftime and get a hot dog.
Don McCauley told me that the wonderful part of reminiscing with former teammates is that the older they get, the better they used to be. And I suppose they've earned the right to look at things that way. After a season of practices, games, and the occasional overtime, it all came down to this.
We review the shootout that ended the field hockey team's shot at a national title.
Connect with us online by liking the Sports Extra Facebook page and following us on Twitter @SportsExtra_UNC.
A diagnosis of breast cancer changes your life forever.
She told me I needed a mastectomy. I was scared, absolutely in shock.
But you need to know that you're not alone. There are teams of medical professionals, support groups, and therapists, and those who can help you plan for life after cancer. Before you undergo surgery for breast cancer, get the facts. Make sure you know your breast reconstruction options. For more information, visit broaddayusa.org.
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
The men's basketball team had the Hall of Fame tip-off tournament, and the women's team has the Cancun Challenge coming up.
To tune up Sunday, the Tar Heels face Coppin State at Carmichael Arena. Coppin State came out strong against Carolina with great defense and scoring early in the first half, but the Heels ultimately came out on top, shining the Eagles in rebounds, scoring, and free throws. Despite some sloppy executions, the Heels continued to outplay the Eagles going into the second half. Number 24, Jessica Washington, stood out with her ability to sink three-pointer after three-pointer, while number 23, Diamond DeShields, led the team in scoring with 16 points. The 13th-ranked Heels won 91-51, bringing their season record 4-1. Associate head coach Andrew Calder said communication is making the team more effective.
And the better your communication is, the quicker your team is. And we're already pretty athletic. And then you add that to it, I think that's given us a lot of success defensively.
UNC will face Arkansas State, Arizona State, and Illinois in Cancun later this week.
Field hockey's title run is over as the team fell in overtime to UConn 2-1 in the NCAA semifinals. The teams were tied 1-1 after regulation and double overtime and entered a best-of-5 penalty shootout. UConn made 2 of its first 4 shots, meaning UNC had to make this next shot to stay alive. However, the Heels were unable to score and had to take the long ride home.
And even more NCAA action. Carolina was well represented at the cross-country national championship Saturday in Indiana, and it was a successful day for one Tar Heel in particular. Junior Annie Lahardy earned All-America honors for her efforts in the women's 6K. Lahardy finished 25th out of 253 runners in the field with a time of 20 minutes and 37 seconds. The men's team also ran in Indiana, finishing 17th overall. It was the best national finish for the men's cross-country team since 1985, when the team finished in 5th.
And All-American runner Annie Lahardy joins us now live in the studio. So Annie, you were able to make it into the top 20 and finish just 37 seconds off the 6K winner. What was going through your mind, and when did you know I can really do something big here?
Probably right around halfway at the 3K. I was still feeling really good, and I had put myself in position to be around 40th at 2K. I'd moved up to 19th with 2K left, and I was still feeling really good, and I just kind of went with it and fought it till the end, and right about 1K left I could see the finish, and I knew that if anybody passed me it would be a hard-fought effort. So.
And you were the only female Tar Heel competing in Indiana. What was it like being out there in such a large field without any of your teammates?
It was difficult. I certainly missed my teammates a lot, and it showed what a difference it makes to run beside a great group of girls. But I knew that me making it individually was setting the standard and following in the shadows of Leanne, who had been an All-American last year. And I really wanted to do something special for the girls so that we can set an even bigger goal next year coming back as a team.
So now is the goal to be All-American from here on out, you think, for you?
I absolutely would love to be All-American. I mean, every victory I get is a great step in the right direction, and I'm just so happy to be where I am right now.
Right,
so we'll see.
Thank you for being with us, and congratulations on the honor.
Thank you.
The Heels got Crystal Dunn back and then lost her again.
So did UNC women's soccer stay on a roll during the NCAA tournament this weekend? Next on Sports Extra.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Well, the women's soccer team is on a roll.
This weekend, the defending national champions earned a spot in the Elite Eight. On Friday, the Heels dominated Indiana 4-0. After missing 3 weeks with an injury, Crystal Dunn returned and did not disappoint. She scored within 4 minutes of stepping on the field. Then in the second half, she served up this assist to Amber Munnerlyn. Kalia Ohai led the team with 5 shots and finished this beautiful bend to the left post. The final goal came on this cross from Satara Murray that deflected off Paige Nielsen's face. Talk about taking one for the team. Senior Kelly McFarland was impressed by how the team stepped up during Dunn's absence, but was also happy to see her return.
We've gotten a lot of offensive power from different places, which is really important, especially as we get into later rounds of the tournament, and teams tend to focus on Crystal. It's important for everybody else to be contributing.
In the third round of the tourney, Carolina knocked out Texas A&M. Summer Green tallied 2 goals for the Heels, first from the top of the box and then finishing this PK. The 2-0 win marked UNC's 15th shutout this season. Coach Anson Dorrance said it was a goalkeeper Anna Seeloff's best performance in a UNC jersey. The Heels will play UCLA or Stanford in the quarterfinals next Friday at Fetzer Field.
The men's soccer team hosted the University of South Florida Thursday night in the first round of the NCAA tournament. The Heels were able to jump out to an early lead when freshman Omar Holness scored off a corner kick 3 minutes into the game. The remainder of the game was extremely physical, and although the Heels outshot the Bulls 10-5, they weren't able to find the net again, ending with a 1-0 victory.
The men's soccer team then traveled to California to take on UC Irvine, but it seemed the team left its luck behind back in Chapel Hill. The Tar Heels lost a heartbreaker Sunday evening when UC Irvine scored the first goal of the game with only 2 seconds on the clock, ending the Tar Heels' NCAA run in the second round. The defeat on Sunday marked the second consecutive year UNC ended their season on a 1-0 score, losing to Indiana in the third round of the tournament last year.
Well, continuing an otherwise great weekend for the Tar Heel sports, the swimming and diving teams brought home gold in the 2013 Nike Cup. Both the women and the men dominated. The women finished the 3-day meet with more than 2,900 points, and second place ECU had about half of that. And the men's team nearly doubled up second place to NC State. Whose state is this? Well, senior Stephanie Peacock broke both a Nike Cup and a pool record in the 1650-yard freestyle, and the teams will jump back in the pool next week at the U.S. Open in Knoxville, Tennessee.
It was certainly a memorable week on the road for the volleyball team. The Tar Heels recorded their third consecutive sweep as they beat NC State in Raleigh on Wednesday. On Sunday, the team won a tough match at Maryland, 3-2, improving to 26-3. The win marked head coach Joe Segula's 700th career win in 24 seasons. The Heels will finish the regular season this week with matches at Wake Forest on Wednesday and then at ACC leader Duke Friday. If you think it's cold outside, you probably couldn't hang out with these guys.
Well, these UNC athletes are strapping on their blades and skating to glory. Next on Sports Extra.
Don't forget to tune in to our sister shows, Carolina Week at 5 p.m. every Wednesday on Time Warner 24 or Campus Channel 34, and Carolina Connection at 8:30 every Saturday morning on WCHL 97.9 FM.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Ready or not, here I come.
Take time to be a dad today.
Ice hockey is the most popular sport in Canada, and it has a following here at UNC too.
And the Olympic sport is definitely carving its name into the Carolina psyche.
Ice hockey is one of the fastest contact sports in the world. Carolina Club President Henry Zarumba knows from experience playing isn't easy.
I'm pretty small, so gotta really work on it to try to maintain possession of the puck when a guy twice your size is trying to knock your head off.
Working hard to perfect passing, skating, and scoring is exactly what this 25-member team does twice a week in Hillsboro. Coach Bud Johnston knows hard work has its benefits.
It shows them responsibility, that they're making a commitment to the team, and that responsibility grows in later life for them.
Zarumba knows there are social benefits too.
All my best friends at least have pretty much been on the team. Some of them have graduated by now, but I still have 16 brothers in there. Both my roommates are on the team.
Johnston has been coaching undergraduate and graduate club players at UNC for 8 years. He knows why the 39-year-old club still attracts new members each year. The chance to build specific skills.
It's just a talent that we all have, that we're able to skate with a stick and move a puck around and you shoot the puck on net.
Johnson says to be successful at hockey, it not only takes physical strength, but also having the right equipment.
Helmets, sharpened skates, and proper padding are important tools for a hockey player. But passion for the game might just be a player's biggest plus.
It's very, very competitive. It's in your blood to want to play. It's just hard to stop.
And this squad definitely shows no signs of stopping.
Paige, that was probably one of the funnest club sports that I've covered so far this semester. It was just really great to see them. Anyway, that does it for this edition of Sports Extra, and a special shout out to our senior reporter, Janelle Davis, who's graduating in December.
And we want to say happy Thanksgiving to you all. Enjoy your turkey, and thanks for watching. Good night.